Hey everyone, welcome back to the Valencia Career Mode. It's Season 1, Episode 6, and as you guys remember, we ended off last episode with a series of not so good results. We were facing really good teams and just couldn't get a win. This last game against Real Sociedad, it wasn't really a good game. We let Oyarzabal run all over us. If you look at the possession heat map, we actually kept a lot of possession, especially towards the end of the first half. But what kind of possession was it? It was a little bit empty. We really weren't in their final third, dominating, trying to make things happen. So it was a little bit disappointing. Our chance creation was also not there. It was just lethargic from our players. There was a good performance in from Soler, in fact. He's been really good over the past few games. His passing accuracy is there. He makes things happen. He dribbles well, gets into good positions, and like I said, his passing was on point, but you need more than one guy to perform. You need the system to work if you're going to beat these best teams, so we really need to do better going forward, guys. Looking at the league table, guys, we definitely want to be in that top 8, preferably in the 5-6 position, because it gives us that European spot, and that is the board expectation for the season. But we've actually slid down to 12th, with 19 points after 14 games. It's not horrible. We're 4 or 5 points off those positions, but we are sliding and we do need to rectify this. We do have a good opportunity to do so, however, with a game at home against a slightly weaker side in Rayo Vallecano. Now, they set up in a slow build-up possession system, which is characteristic of a lot of La Liga teams, but they set up in a balanced system defensively with 7D depth, which means they're not going to press you in your third, but they will press up to the halfway line and make it a little bit more difficult for build-up play. Now, they set up in a 4-2-3-1. Again, a very classic target man up front, free roaming attacking midfielder. I've seen this from a number of teams over the past few games, but the difference with Rayo Vallecano is they're just slightly more conservative than a lot of these teams. The winger is set to cut inside, the other one's set to stay wide, but then you've got the central midfielder staying back, maybe playing a little bit more of a deep lying playmaker, and the fullbacks aren't bombing forward, so it is very much a little bit more conservative. They're looking to be solid and take whatever opportunities they can get. Now, they have some threats. It's not a team loaded with talent, but EC on the right-hand side has a lot of technical ability, also a lot of pace. And Lopez in the center is quite capable as a deep-lying playmaker. He can spray the balls, and that's going to need to be addressed. We're setting up in our classic system, obviously 3-4-3 Cruyff Diamond, but there's some changes. Blanco is going to get the start out on the left because I'm starting to give people more playing time. I assume Guedes is going to be leaving. I may even just force it because he's not playing up to expectations, and Mamardashvili gets the start in goal. Hopefully we can bounce back here, guys, and have a good performance against Rayo Vallecano, so let's have it. We've had our struggles as of late, but this first half was really good, and it really shows how well we can play as a team at our best. Look at this press. Everyone is where they're supposed to be, and when you regain possession in their final third, it's really easy to get opportunities. We move the ball well. We're not lethargic. It's a save by the goalkeeper, and look at this. Another clearance, another interception, good ball pressure, and look at this. Clever passing. The guy is free on the wing. It's an overload. Another shot, another save by the goalkeeper, but this is what you want to see. And off the resulting corners, we were dangerous. And once you mount this kind of pressure, you can really get some good opportunities. Another save by the goalkeeper, but we're there. We're mounting pressure. Rayo Vallecano really couldn't get anything going. It was a really good first half from us. We move it on the counter well. Vega dropped into midfield. It frees Kettler for this run, and he powers it in home, guys. 1-0. A really good start to the first half. Really good. The first 20 minutes of the second half, we really didn't create too much, but we kept good possession. Then, Rayo Vallecano has one chance here. EC gets it on the right-hand side. It isn't even that dangerous. And he puts it in for 1-1. Mamardashvili couldn't keep it out. This really was Rayo Vallecano's only chance. We limited them to one chance during the game. They took it 1-1. We continued to attack, maybe not as well as in the first half, but Soler was getting into good positions. He puts it just wide here, but for the most part, it was good passing, it was crisp passing, and there was patience in the build-up and in the counter-attacking scenarios where we didn't force anything. If there wasn't anything on, Moriba gets it here. On the edge of the box, it's another save by the goalkeeper. But for the most part, I'd say we were really good at our patience, at building the play up and finding the opportunity we wanted. Even in added time here, when we were looking for that winner, we didn't panic, we moved it around well, and we found the opportunity we wanted. Soler just didn't have the composure to finish it, guys. 1-1. It's a really disappointing result because the performance was excellent and the result just doesn't match the performance. We really deserve 3 points here, guys. Diving into the stats here, guys, you can really see we deserved more from this game. We had the chance creation, 4.2 expected goals. Rayo Vallecano only had 0.2. They had that one chance from EC and Mamardashvili couldn't keep it out. We had good possession, especially during portions of the game. We were higher up into their third. There was a lot of positives. We took the ball away a little bit higher up the pitch. We had a number of chances, certainly more than in the Sociedad game, and we just couldn't close it out. Soler yet again had a really good performance. He gets into really good positions and drives our team forward. His passes are on point. He had 2.5 expected assists. He got that assist for the De Ketelaere goal, but it just wasn't enough. We had a decent team performance, and for the most part, we played very well. But if we really want to buckle down and be that 3-4-3 epic Cruyff diamond team, we need to devastate teams. That's what we need to do going forward. We have a slightly easier fixture list coming up in this episode. Games against Celta, Elche, and Levante. So hopefully we can pick up at least 2 points here and really start to gain the momentum going into the end of the year. Now, the first game against Celta, I feel like there's something in the tactics we can at least slightly exploit. The interesting thing is their defensive width set at 70 and their offensive width set at 40. So this is maybe contrary to what you usually should do. They actually defend wide and attack narrowly. Now, in their system they play, the 4-1-2-1-2 diamond is what it seems. There's going to be a lot of space because of their lack of men in midfield and the fact that they defend wide for our midfielders to exploit. So that's definitely something we want to do. Now, their system is geared towards the offensive side of the ball. Clearly, they have 2 strikers, one of them dropping in that false 9 role, drifting wide, so he's getting onto the ball a lot, offering a lot more in the build-up, and then they go on to their chance creation. You've got the wide midfielders cutting inside, those fullbacks are bombing forward, so it's heavily geared towards the offense. And then if you look at, they have some really good players. That central attacking midfielder, Suarez, is really good on the ball, and he's going to be offering a lot, and Tapia is genuinely a really good CDM, so he's going to be cutting up those passing lines and trying to anchor that midfield, but I feel like they just don't have the numbers, and we can really take advantage of this. We're going to go with something similar to what we started the season off with Musa and Guedes on the wings. I like Guillamon in this CDM role. I'm starting to like him more and more, so I'm going to play him there. Other than that, we're just going to try to exploit what we described here and see if we can win against Celta. Celta surprised me a little bit. They caught me off guard, to be honest, because even though they do attack narrowly, they do have those bombing fullbacks, and they're able to overload the wide areas and create. They had a really good opportunity early on. Silason had to make a wonderful save. But to be fair, we also had a lot of joy in the way we attacked and tried to abuse that 70 defensive width. We always made sure to stretch the play and then to bring it back into the middle, and I thought it worked perfectly. Soler found himself unmarked in the box here, guys, 1-0. Even N'Golo Conte can't be in the midfield by himself, especially with the way we pack the midfield. So I thought Tapia definitely couldn't do this, but it's a trade-off for Celta, I feel, because they do want to be potent on attack, and they're geared towards that. They had a lot of opportunities, to be fair, and Silason had to be on duty. Now, we got a little bit fortunate off a corner. We just kind of hoof it out. Vega has a really good touch, and he's like, all right, I'm doing this. I'm on my bike. He rides this challenge. He opens up his body, and he puts it in, guys. 2-0. That was very fortuitous. We don't have a lot of opportunities like that in our career mode, but I thought we took full advantage here. And then we continued on the first half, doing what we do and trying to put it out wide, bring it back into the middle, exploit these spaces. I mean, look at that. There's a lot of space for him. No one picks him up. There was nothing on, so we put it back out wide, then back into the middle. And there's a lot of opportunities like this. This was offside, but there's not enough men in midfield behind the ball to stop me from doing that. And we continuously tried to do it. Again, no one really picks him up here. Too much space. Vega puts it in, guys. 3-0 to end this first half. What a start. Celta continued to have their chances in the second half because, like I said, they're a good enough team to do so. But I thought the storyline was different in this game. It was how well we adjusted to make that tactical adjustment and exploit it. I mean, look at this scenario where you don't have that CDM picking up the guy, the CB has to come out, and what that does is it frees up the Kettler to have this shot, and this was constant during the game. We were able to get easy opportunities. The first and third goals were as a result of that thin midfield. This was one of the few opportunities where actually they defended with men behind the ball, but even still, we were able to get a long shot here, and it was just too easy to get even half chances, I'd say. Eventually, like I said, they attacked, and they were able to finally break through. Play gets on the end of this, and he powers it home. That was Silason's fault, really. I don't know how he was diving there. He should have made the save, but in the end, it doesn't matter, guys. 3-1, that's how the game ends. And it was not a vintage Valencia 3-4-3 diamond performance, but it was more so a good tactical adjustment that led to the win, and you have to have a mix of both. It's a good bounce back. You look back at the stats, and yes, it wasn't a vintage performance. We didn't have an overwhelming amount of possession. They had more expected goals. If you look at the heat map, we didn't have too much possession in their final third. And yes, they did have a narrow system, but you can see on their heat map how much possession they have in those wide areas because of those bombing fullbacks. Both teams had an equal amount of chances in the end, and that tactical adjustment was the reason we got this win, guys. Vega did excellently in this game. I thought he found the perfect balance. He got those 2 goals for himself, but his positioning was well balanced in between getting into the box, dropping off, and finding space in the middle of the midfield, and also offering himself up in the build-up. As you can see, he was surging into the box for those goals, but his passing in the build-up was also very key in constructing these opportunities, so well done to our little Mexican here. Now it's time to keep the momentum going and play with confidence against Elche, guys. It's going to be a complete tactical U-turn because they play completely differently. They drop back. They do a lot of long balls and direct passing. They want to play off the counter. And their 4-4-2 doubles down on this with their player instructions because both their strikers are looking to get in behind. Their left midfielder is staying forward. He has nothing to do with the defense, and he's also getting in behind. So there's a lot of runners in behind trying to exploit the space. We do play a high line with 100 depths, so you have to be vigilant when you see something like this because when played well, this can be the kryptonite. The rest of their team is set up to support this. Neither of their fullbacks bomb forward. They let the midfield and the attack do the counter-attacking. They're a little bit more solid at the back. Their right midfielder is set to stay wide, so he's an outlet for the counter and also is there for any switch of plays. The midfield, none of them are staying back. They're both either getting forward or on balance because when you have all these runners in behind, if there's nothing on at the beginning, you want these players trailing in behind and offering an option. They have a very interesting setup, and the main focus here is watching out for these strikers. Perez is a really good one. Great finishing. We don't have him fully scouted, but you can already see he's a really good player. And Boy is also very decent. You definitely have to watch out for all these players running in behind. Now we're going to set up with some changes, some chances given to younger players like Mosquera and Condredi. I feel confident enough that we can give them a chance here. Mamardashvili will also get another start. And we're going to try to, as I said, keep the momentum going here and get 2 wins in a row. Let's go. The first 10 minutes were really good. We got off to a flying start and there were crisp passes, good movement, and we got our due rewards here. Musa makes a really good run. He takes 1 touch, and with his second, he puts it in the back of the net, guys. 1-0 within the first 6 minutes. A really good start, but there honestly wasn't too much in this game. Both sides maybe had 1 or 2 chances, and I gave the initiative and the possession away to Elche a little bit more than I would have liked, and they really capitalized on it. Perez with a great strike that beats Mamardashvili, and all of a sudden it's 1-1. But like I said, there really wasn't too much chances in this game, and Elche actually threw a curveball and did a little bit of pressing, surprised me, and got a good chance in the 37th minute here. Hits the crossbar. That was a great shot. I talked a lot in the pregame about how Elche was going to counterattack and this was going to be threatening, and they were, but we were able to cut most of their chances to a minimum. But the flip side to this coin was that they defended really well. It was disciplined. It was hard to play against in the first half, especially. In the second half, a little bit better. We got a few chances. The goalkeeper saved one there, and we were starting to find some cracks in their armor. We got a little bit of fortuitous here. Soler makes a good interception. He plays in Vega. We find the space. He gets into the box, and he hits it against the crossbar. That was a great chance, but slowly the game winded down, and I'm starting to think, we're not going to be able to do this. They're actually stifling us. We did recycle play well, and we continued to knock and knock and knock and trying to get something, anything, any sort of opportunity. And finally, we were able to get just pure luck. It falls to De Ketelaere, he puts it in the back of the net. After all Elche was doing defensively, that must be so deflating. We got a little bit of luck. It was also De Ketelaere's great attack positioning, don't get me wrong, but we got that little bit of luck that we needed. We continued to press later on in the game. They were deflated, and we got another piece of luck here. De Ketelaere's attack positioning, yet again, 3-1, guys. And it's a load off my mind, a great relief that we were able to beat Elche, because honestly, it wasn't a vintage performance. It wasn't a good enough from us. We didn't break them down, and we should be able to in this 3-4-3 Cruyff Diamond. But we got the win, we keep the momentum going, and that's the most important thing right now. We'll work on the rest. We're getting there, but we're not there yet, guys. We were the better team, we had more possession, we had more chances, more expected goals, but it's expected against Elche at home. We need to do better. Yes, our possession heat map shows that we are in that final third, we're doing a lot, and some of the spells of possession, especially in the second half, I mean 80 and 78%, that is exactly what you want to see. But we have to do more with the possession. It's not enough to have empty possession. We have to make it count. We didn't in this game. It's not enough shots, guys. We need more shots against a team like Elche at home. We need to dominate. We need to really suffocate them. Now, there were some good performances. De Ketelaere, yes, he got lucky on some of those goals, but it was also partly his attack positioning, and he was really good in a lot of aspects of play. He got into these nice little positions, and he was doing a lot from there. He got into the box and got those goals, which is a primary duty of his, but also look at his build-up. 2.2 expected assists. He's everywhere. In the build-up, in the chance creation, making things happen, and that's really good. Condredi and Mosquera also had decent performances. They didn't set the world alight, but Condredi was nice and tidy. He played some forward balls. He tried. He did his best, and Mosquera actually had a really good game. He spread the ball out well, and that's exactly what you wanted to see him do. So some good performances, a good result, but we really need to tighten the screws and get this system into a well-oiled machine. Our last game of the episode and the last game of the year is the derby game against Levante, guys. As usual, I'm not going to do a full tactical analysis. I'm going to stick to this being about heart and about desire. Obviously, we're going to try to play our football. I will say, though, they have a lot of quality on their team. Morales is a great striker, 87 dribbling, 84 finishing. Campagna has a lot of technical ability in the middle of the park. I love some of these players. Bardi, De Frutos on left mid, right mid. They're excellent players. This is going to be one hell of a game. We are going to make some substitutions. I'm not going to play Musa. I feel like the strongest lineup in terms of personnel up front is Moriba at cam, De Ketelaere at striker, Vega wide. This drops Vas into that right back role. Nandez is injured, and we've got Guillermo out with the flu. So Burla Makami is going to get his first start. Our young Peruvian is going to see what he can do, and we're going to have one hell of a derby game here against Levante to end the episode, guys. Let's have it. Guys, I really didn't want to make this about tactics in the derby game, but I have to. They played it perfectly. 4-4-2, 2 banks of 4. But defensively, they were so aggressive. Out on the wing, they always put a tackle in. Now, we did a lot of switches of play, and you can see how fast the Levante players shuffle over and always put in a tackle. They always pressured you. The other thing is they let you play farther away from goal. They didn't pressure you as much. Here, have the ball, no problem. It goes out wide, they immediately put a man on you. We did find maybe 1 or 2 opportunities where we found a little bit more space like here, but for the most part, look at this. Pressure on the ball, pressure on the ball. They're shuffling. This guy steps out. It's a block. And that was constant from Levante. It was perfectly played defensively throughout the entire game. And offensively, they were a little bit more adventurous, and on the counter, they were able to hit you. They had a really good chance here, and Silason had to make a really good save. They took what they could, but the basis of their whole play was defensive solidity, and you can just see how well they pressure you. Every time someone's on the ball, he has a man on him. I can't breathe, I can't do anything. And they block the shot here, they get the interception, and they run, and that's what they want to do. They base their whole play on counterattacking and getting guys in behind. This time it's an offside, but you can clearly see what they were trying to do. And it paid dividends. They had some good chances. This time he stayed onside, and Silason had to make another great save. Levante was growing in confidence in the second half, guys, and they started to keep more possession. They got even more chances, and I was struggling to cope with it. A great one here hits the post. Silason was very lucky, but they kept coming and coming, and it surprised me. It was a curveball because they didn't always counterattack. They had these little chances in possession. This was offside, but it was a really good chance. For the most part, our defensive line kept good shape and was keeping us in this game, but we really didn't have too much opportunities. This one was pretty good. The Kettler couldn't sort his feet, and it was saved by the goalie. And then right at the end, we brought on some subs. Musa came on with his pace, and we had a really golden opportunity. He surged into the box. He found Vega. It was saved by the goalkeeper. Wirman with the rebound, and he couldn't get it in. Son, you had it. You had the win in the bag. Unfortunately, it's 0-0, guys. This was a very interesting game. For me, tactically speaking, it was very exciting, guys. Thank you so much for watching this episode. If you like the content, please leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you next time, guys. Laters!